Today I play Murder House, 1 because I'm desensitized from all the crazy happening in the world, and 2 because I'm a sucker for PSX style horror games. To catch up to speed on what a Murder House is, or the history of it, who made it, I'm gonna get you up to speed. In a simple way of describing the plot, Murder House follows a news team, and they're covering the story of the Easter Ripper, like a really weird ass bunny guy that like took kids, put them in his house. It's pretty messed up. I'm not gonna really delve deep into it because I don't want YouTube to like blacklist me and like get my channel off the market. So you know what? I'm gonna let y'all know later down the line, so stay tuned. Murder House was made by the freaks known as Puppet Combo. And if you don't know who Puppet Combo is, just watch Corey Kenshin play a game of theirs. Now, after finishing this game a couple days back, I actually really enjoyed it and I wanted to make a video on it. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't really know why this game isn't the best horror game I've ever played. Sometimes the voice acting is a little iffy.
Ew, it's musty.
I thought I could control the urge to kill, but it's back.
This town is full of monsters. How can you sit there and eat pizza? Forget you.
I thought I could control the urge to kill, but it's back.
Sensational.
Sometimes the jump scares don't really land and are kind of cheap at times.
Oh, it's the Easter Bunny.
But if I'm being honest, all of that is completely overshadowed by literally everything else. The vibes, the music, everything just like aligns in the Gamer Nights guide to deliver a really fun and enjoyable experience. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This is why Murder House is the best PSX style horror game, and why it's the perfect love letter for the era that came before it. Okay, after reading the script, I kind of forgot to tell you what actually fully happens in the game, so I'm just gonna let you know what it is now off the top of my head. If it doesn't make sense, I'm sorry. Okay, so the game starts off with you, I'm pretty sure his name is Justin, he's like a mullet, it's like the 80s, right? It's like a really long time ago. The game starts off with like you taking a photo with the Easter Bunny, and then the Easter Bunny is like really big, like he's actually huge, like that guy's big. After you take the photo, you wake up in a photo booth, and like you exit the photo booth, and you're like, man, it's completely desolate here. There's literally no one in the mall. It's you, yourself. Like I don't even know how your mom like left you in the mall. That's really shitty parenting. And after you run around for a bit, you find some keys, you do some puzzles, you run around, you find the place where you took the photo, and then you see the bunny like in the corner just chilling, and you're like, damn, I'm gonna die. You run around some more, you find an exit door, like yes, I can finally leave. You keep going, you do some puzzles, do some puzzles. After a bit, you enter this like door, and you see Jacksepticeye as a janitor.
Shut the f up, you're a shut the f up, you're a
He's like, I'll take care of him, and he runs down this like weird hallway thing. The murder bunny kills him. He's never seen again, by the way. You meet Jacksepticeye, he's dead the next hour. After a bit, you die then too, and then it cuts to the future, and you play as Emma, a person who works for this news team who's covering the bunny's house in which you brought the kids into and then murdered. It's pretty messed up, low-key, not even low-key, high-key. And you enter this house, and the door is locked, and they mentioned a real estate agent, like, man, I should have paid you $50 to get in this freaking house because this real estate agent guy is completely not even here. You sneak in, you unlock the door, they set up shop, they record some stuff, everything seems fine and well until you go to order some pizzas, and the van is completely broken down. You don't know who broke it down, but I have a feeling it's the Easter Bunny. The bunny tasks you with finding like Easter eggs to escape from him, and slowly one by one, everyone starts dying. Like Dana dies, Gary dies, Tom. Keep that in mind. That's so fucking stupid. You do some more puzzles, you find some really heinous, wild shit, and then you climb up the ladder into the greenhouse, and then the bunny comes, and then he takes the helmet off, and it's actually Tom the whole time. You go and you attack Tom, you blast music, you're like, I'm gonna kill you, Tom. You kill Tom, you smack him like at the end, and then like you go to the gate, and then he disappears. You're like, shit.
skin color. He ain't getting back up. Ain't no Murder House 2 because he dead. He ain't getting back up. Goodbye. Gate locked tight.
Oh my god.
What's it? What?
And all of a sudden he comes back behind you, says he's gonna kill you. He can't be killed, and then for some reason everything starts shaking. It's like an earthquake. And then all the kids that he killed previously rise up from the dead and then start eating him. And then after a bit you escape, roll credits, game over. Yeah, did that make any sense? No? I'm sorry. But if I'm really truly being honest, the plot doesn't really matter at all. And what I mean by that is the story it's nothing really special. And I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. Like the story is like pretty good. Like the pacing of it is pretty damn good. And there was never really a dull moment in the story. I'm just saying everything else surrounding that story was what made this game effective for me. So let's delve into this game and figure out what makes this game so good. And it's because of two things. Now, with the PSX style in the indie scene, it is undoubtedly the hottest form of horror, and that's for a multitude of reasons. One, because, you know, the style is pretty fun to utilize, and it's really cool. Like that VHS retro style is something that's pretty unique in the genre, compared to, you know, all the hyper-realistic DLSS era horror games that we have today. Two, because it is honestly way easier to develop a PSX style horror game than it is, you know, a hyper-realistic horror game. And me saying that, it's not necessarily like a bad thing or a criticism, because people utilize this style in many different different meaningful ways. Whether it's to pay homage to the era that came before it, or demonstrate that this style is still effective today, there's a lot of reasons. And I mention this because with Puppet Combo, a common criticism I see floating around the internet is that this PSX style is a crutch in making scary games, which I just find incredibly untrue. Because with upcoming game engines making it easier than ever to make a gaming experience, that perspective shouldn't be a point of critique for a game like this or any future game releasing on an easier to utilize engine or stylistic choice. And I bring quality up because, if I'm being honest, a lot of Puppet Combo games are hit or miss, whether that be with its gameplay, its ideas, its utilization of the retro style. Sometimes Puppet Combo games can vary in quality, and I'll man up and say that. However, Murder House is definitely not one of those games. This game is a banger. The developer, you know how I said freaks known as Puppet Combo? It's actually one person, and he's a freak. But anyway, this game is definitely his best piece of work he's ever put together. The PSX style coats the game in a very authentic retro feel, and that goes for the characters and the designs of the levels. A cool thing about this game is there's a lot of props in the environment around you, and if you go up to it and interact with it, there will be like a text box showing the protagonist's comment on that said prop. And I know it isn't a big deal, but this simple thing just gives you more of a connection to the protagonist and gives you like a sense of how the protagonist thinks and acts, making you more connected with the protagonist, you know, making you more immersed. And honestly, I just think it's a nice touch. And I think all of these factors are all amplified by the glorious soundtrack made by Clement and Moon. When you really think about it, music plays a really huge role in video games. Like Mario, for example. How many of y'all know the Mario song? I bet you a lot of y'all do. And that's because one, it's a banner, and two, because it amplifies the quality of Mario games as a whole. Like you go into the first level of a Mario game, you know damn well what song is gonna be playing because that song, it's the vibe of the level, you know? It sets the tone, it sets the mood, and it's generally what changes a level from being a boring level to a cool level. And I feel the same thing is done with Murder House. The music, man, I could kiss the music on its head, okay? Like it's so good to the point where I literally could listen to it like on a road trip, and I have, unironically. I've added this to my Apple Music and I listened to it on a road trip because I thought some of the songs were pretty damn good. And if you go on Apple Music right now and look at that Murder House album, there are like a bajillion unused tracks that don't even go in the game and they still bang. Like it's crazy. Anyway, music, amazing. PSX style, magnifique. But what are my gripes with this game? This game is roughly an hour to 2 hours long, and if it was any other game, I would say, man, that is a really short ass game. Even when you factor in the price of 14 Canadian dollars or 12 real American patriotic dollars, I would still say it's worth the money. Games are hard as shit to create, and when it's one person making it, it's just even harder. But that perspective shouldn't really taint the fact that if you make a game a high price, it better have high quality. And Murder House is, you guessed it, high quality. When you make a game and promise it as much as Puppet Combo has, especially on the Patreon with delays, I feel this game's length is perfect. And even though that's a positive in my eyes, the short length along with the semi-high indie price tag, I know it might deter people away from picking up this game. But if you don't really care about that and want to experience a really well-made, authentic retro-style horror game, I would say it's truly worth the price. Wow, that was really positive. I thought you said this was gripes, Noah. Well, I'm gonna tell you more gripes that I actually experienced. When a masterfully timed jump scare hits, it hits hard. And when I mean hard, I mean like it gives you adrenaline. And in some ways, it makes you feel kind of good because it's like, damn, that was a really well-made jump scare. Maybe I'm the only one that feels that because I am mentally deranged. But in some ways, I find it really enjoyable and fun. And there's moments in Murder House that give me genuine fear. You know, when you're locked in a room and all of your colleagues have been murdered by this bunny and you're trapped with nothing but a fire poker and a flashlight, and you can hear him walking around the empty house. And that might not seem that bad, but when you realize that it's not scripted and it's the AI actually just walking around the house, it kind of makes it feel like he's sentient. And it's scary as shit. And when you have fear like that, along with a creepy atmosphere dripping with potential for a uniquely crafted scary experience, all we actually get is just a sudden loud, ear-damaging sound as a bunny walks towards us. And we have to fight the bunny with the most janky-ass controls, which I'll get to in a second. But all that potential I just mentioned before feels like it just got tossed out of the window. Like, bro, you had the golf ball on the tee. All you had to do was hit it, and you didn't really do it. And it doesn't help with the controls, as I mentioned before. Like, the controls, I like them when you're just walking around. Like, I think they're really well made along with the camera. But in combat, man, that shit is worse than medieval ball torture, I'm gonna be honest. And people say, well, it's like how old games used to function. I think that's kind of bullshit. Like, you don't need to nerf your controls to convey a scarier experience. It just makes your game harder to enjoy. Here's a good example, Silent Hill 2. Didn't the developer tweet out that he preferred the Resident Evil 2 like over-the-shoulder style camera? I'm pretty sure he did. And that would have been the end goal in 2001. Yeah, he did say that. I'm not dreaming. He did say that on Twitter. And the thing is, in the remake, Silent Hill 2 was still scary as fuck. And it just proves that you don't need to make controls shitty as hell like they were in the past. And even if you were to tweak the camera and controls, it wouldn't really work. One, because the game was developed with this camera angle and control scheme in mind, and two, because they've already tried to do it. They made a first-person camera, and the game does not function as effectively as with the regular camera, because the game just isn't meant for it. But with all that being said, Murder House is still a fantastic game, and I will continue to love and support the game and developer for as long as I live. I will also mention there are a plethora of things I kind of just glanced over, like the notes, the world building, everything. Because one, I couldn't really fit it in this video, and two, because I want you to pick up this game and enjoy it yourself without me having to tell you everything that happened, even though I already told you the plot. But there's a lot of things that make this game really special, and I want you to experience it yourself. So yeah, let's wrap this up. Murder House is simply a fantastic experience when set aside, but when it's put alongside its temporaries, that's when a new appreciation is found. This game wasn't crafted because, hey, PSX style trendy, haha, let's capitalize on as much money as we can make. No, it's because the creator of this game had a genuine passion for this retro style, a passion that oozes out of every minute detail you find in this game. And within those minute details, it forms a bigger picture of a masterfully crafted experience that serves as the perfect love letter for horror games and movies that came before it. I'm Noah the Shine, and I appreciate you for watching. Hey y'all, thanks for watching. I'm really sorry it took so long. I'm still trying to balance life, school, music, YouTube. I got a lot on my plate, but hey, nothing wrong with having to do a lot of stuff. I actually kind of prefer it low-key. I appreciate you for sticking around, and I hope you subscribe and stay tuned for this YouTube journey. And if you want more gaming critiques, please let me know, because I had a really fun time writing this video. It took a long ass time. It took me like 4 months, but here it is. Hopefully it was worth the wait. It probably wasn't. But anyways, I hope y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.